In Drupal 7, if you wanted to activate a block, say the recent comments block, you would select the drop-down next to it and select the region where it's supposed to be displayed. So let's say we wanted it in our first sidebar. I'd select sidebar first, it would shift it up to that sidebar, and then I would click Save Blocks. Now there's a couple user experience problems with that whole process that have been fixed in Drupal 8. Let's duplicate that process here. So I'm going to scroll down to our sidebar first, which is right here. So first, I'm navigating to where I want to put the block instead of trying to navigate to the block. And then I'll click Place Block, which is a lot more intuitive than figuring out what that select box is for. Here, I can filter the blocks, so even if we have hundreds of blocks available, we can filter it down to a handful with just a couple of keyboard strokes. But I can see it right here, Recent Comments. I'm going to go ahead and click Place Block. At this point, I get to adjust the settings, which is something that I didn't get to do in the Drupal 7 workflow. If I wanted to adjust the settings, I'd have to go and click Configure right after I placed it. The configuration has been simplified a bit. We can adjust the block title, but to do so in Drupal 8, we would need to check Override Title. We can choose to display the title or not, which isn't an option in the Drupal 7 version of this block. The items per block is a little bit different, but it's nice that it mentions the default setting just in case we want to go back to that. The region settings no longer display here because these blocks are placed per theme rather than being displayed across all themes. In the title override, it mentions that we can change the title in this recent comments, and if we open that, I'm just going to open it up in a new tab here, you can see that recent comments is a view, and the title is set right here. So if we wanted to be able to adjust the title in the view and have it cascade to any place where we're displaying recent comments, we would not want to override it here in the block layout. We would want to do so in the view instead. The visibility settings are similar. We have pages, content types, and roles in both Drupal 7 and Drupal 8, but the user setting is no longer adjustable. Through this, users would be able to adjust the display of this block in their account settings. I'm going to click Save Block over here in 7, and I'll do the same thing in Drupal 8. Once we've placed the block, Drupal 8 scrolls to the new block that we added, which is nice. It allows us to configure it further if we'd like. Our block at this point has been saved, and we don't need to scroll down and click Save Blocks.